Authorities are charging a North Carolina mother. Her name is Dazia Lee. Now, what's crazy about this is her middle name is spelled Idah. The reason why I'm going to pronounce her middle name the way that I am is because of the way that you would pronounce it. If you took the ID off of it and put an L, it would say Leah. So I'm assuming that her name is Idah. Ideah. That's her middle name, Idah. Take a pen, put a bookmark in there. We'll come back to it, okay? Her first name is Dazia. I've heard people in the news pronounce it quite a bit different, but I think her name was supposed to be, but I don't know. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Dazia, like desire, but trying to write it in a fancy way, in a different, unique way. As you guys know, in our particular community, we like to try to give our children these wild ass names because we're trying to make them quote unquote unique to our culture. So that way you automatically know that they are associated with us, right? There's good and there's bad in that. In their opinion, they think it's good. In my opinion, I think it's horrible, right? We want to think of children, when you hear a name, you want to think that's an American person, not necessarily a black person. Can we agree to that? Why? Because the negative stereotypes that are labeled on our people are not good. Why? Because we continue to perpetuate these things. We continue to perpetuate the negative stereotypes when it comes to the rate of our children outside of wedlock, the rate of violence, the rate of crimes, the rate of all of the negative categories that we lead in. We continue to perpetuate it. So why would we want to associate ourselves with something negative? Do you guys understand? We look at other people's community and we say, you know what? They're trying to hold us down. They're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. If we were smart and intuitive people, then we would understand very simply. If you want to associate yourself with something more positive, then you just have to be it. You just have to do it. You have to speak it. You have to think it. You have to live it. Everybody understand that? Let's keep going. Hopefully I don't lose anybody on that. Florence made her landfall near Whiteside Beach, North Carolina on September 14th. Bringing days of rain and flooding and killing at least 51 people that we know of. Now, during the storm, Dazia Lee, I'm sorry. I don't like her name. I don't. I'm just being honest. Dazia. Let's keep going. She's age 20. So she came from that group. She don't look like, come on, y'all, let me go back. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I really swear that I'm not. We're just being comical because the situation itself is not a funny situation. So like I said, if you guys don't understand our level of crude humor, just please exit the channel. Guys, seriously. This is the baby. This is the baby boy. This is the baby boy. This is the mother. You guys tell me that she looks like she's 20. How old do you guys think that she is? How old does she look like she is? They say that black don't crack. Maybe it don't. I don't know. I don't know. She just don't look 20. That's all I'm throwing out there. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's keep going. They say she's 20 years old. We'll take your word for it. Of Charlotte, drove around barricades. So they barricaded off the streets for obvious reasons because they are not safe. They are life-threatening. If you have ever been around floods or hurricanes or anything like that, it's a reason why the cities and counties and states block these roads off for a reason. Let's keep going. So apparently, Dazia drove around the barricades on State Highway 218 that resulted in the tragic drowning death of her 1-year-old son, and his name right there on my screen is Caden Lee-Welch. R.I.P. to Caden Lee-Welch. Okay, he was only 1 year old. The Union County Sheriff's Office said in a statement on Monday on Facebook. Now, Lee also faces a misdemeanor charge of driving on an unopened highway in connection with her son's death, the statement said, because she's going to be facing a different charge for that. The tragic death of this child and the circumstances surrounding this case are heartbreaking. We continue to pray for all those suffering as a result of this child's death, Sheriff Eddie Catley said. However, after a very thorough investigation and taking all the facts into consideration and applying the law, we feel that these charges are appropriate. So here we go. Deputies served Lee with criminal summons, and she's scheduled to appear in court on November 20th. Now, the boy that was swept away, again, his name is Caden, and Caden's body was found on September the 17th. In a Facebook post on September 16th, the sheriff's office said they were searching. They said they sent a search and rescue team and had spent hours searching for him after he was swept away in rushing waters from Richardson Creek. It said detectives believe Caden and his mother had been traveling east on Highway 218 towards Wadesboro. Now, the mother drove around barricades in North Carolina or NC 218 and continued traveling east until her vehicle encountered rushing waters across the road. It said her vehicle left the road and came to rest amongst a group of trees. She managed to free herself and Caden, who was in a car seat, but lost her grip on him in the rushing waters. Man, that's sad, man. That really is. But what I'm going to do is, just so you guys will know, she's being charged with manslaughter. Do you guys think that charge is harsh enough? I'll let you guys be the determining factor on that. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Let me give the fair usage, and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about the rest of the story, okay? So let's go ahead and start with at least our fair usage announcement of the news media. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Rick and Delaney said, why was she even out driving anywhere? That's my point, and that's what I'm talking about. I think that this is more serious than just manslaughter. I think that this could be considered to be intentional. That's my opinion, though. It's a horrible decision. Thank you. Bevo Barber said, sounds like she made a horrible decision, but not deliberate. I think this is the thing. When we talk about parenting is not something that you can be selfish in doing. You can't just be in the act of parenting and be thinking about what's good for yourself. That you cannot do. You have to always be putting the safety of your child first. This is why I think that us not having both parents in the household, both DNA parents in the household, is a very dangerous thing to do. Because let me ask you guys a realistic question before we start the first video. This is my question that I pose to the audience. Let me know in the comment section. Do you guys think that Dazia would have taken her baby boy out if her baby boy's father were living in that household? Do you think that she would have taken her son and put her son's life in jeopardy the way that she did if the father would have at least been in the house? All I'm asking is a question. All I'm asking is for you guys' honest opinion. Fathers are important. Hashtag daddies count. You guys can also find my Daddy's Count t-shirts on spreadshirt.com/DJJustJayOK. This is stuff we talk about all the time. Let's go ahead and start.
So that's a very, very hard time for all of us to think of, especially the ones that we have child that have a burden on our hearts. But we have to take it in consideration that this is a job for us that we have to do. So, but even though we still want to think about our children and other children, so it's a big impact on everybody for right now. The only thing I can tell everybody, just keep in prayer for all of our employees that are out here and personnel, the USAR guys, for their protection in the water, and then pray for their family, because it's a very big loss and a burden on everybody's hearts right now.
And breaking right now, a young child swept away by floodwaters. Late tonight, we rushed our crew to the 7800 block of Highway 218 in Union County, just north of Marshall, after hearing reports of a missing child. Crews spent hours trying to locate this one-year-old.
NBC Charlotte's Evan West joins us live from Union County with the late-breaking details. Evan?
This is 218, the road that they were traveling on right here. Now, the accident happened a good ways down. Police have it blocked off right now.
Exactly. Thank you, Chassie. And Chassie said there's no room for error when it comes to storming children. And I'm going to tell you something. From somebody that I know, Chassie has seen some storms. Now, tell me what responsible parent would intentionally take their child and put their child in harm's way driving around barricades? Tell me that. Because I just don't know what has to be going through a person's mind. What could be so important that you need to go somewhere that you need to put your child's life in danger? Is there any place that you need to go that bad? Risk your own life? Hey, whatever you want to do, you grown. Let me know what you think.
They continue the search for that young boy, but this is what we do know. Police say that the mother was traveling down 218 with her young boy in the back seat whenever she went over a patch of road with water that was rushing over it.
Right. Somebody, let me see. Darcy Ann asked, there must be more to this than they're saying. What I want to hear is where I want to know where the hell she was going. If you're gonna allow this to happen to your kid, if nothing else, I at least need to know, where were you going? That's a fair question, I think. I think that she owes the world an answer to let us know, where was she taking this kid?
Her car swept away along with the one-year-old baby boy who was swept out of the car. We're told by Union County Sheriff's Department that the paramedics who responded to the call also had to be rescued because their ambulance was caught in water. The mother taken to the hospital, where we're told at last check she was coherent. Now the search for her son continues, although with floodwaters raging, officials say this is a desperate attempt to find him. Reporting live in Union County, I'm Evan West for NBC Charlotte.
A heartbreaking update. Authorities have recovered the body of this one-year-old boy swept away by floodwaters in North Carolina after the one-year-old slipped from his mother's grip. Union County Sheriff's Office says the woman...
Okay, I want to make sure I answer you guys' questions because I am paying attention to the chat. Carmel Cutie, what's going on? Asked, how do we know? What is it that you're asking pertaining to what? How do we know what? As far as how do we know that the kid has passed away, or how do we know that the mother drove around the barricades, or what are you asking? And I can respond to what you said once you let me know specifically what you were trying to find out. What's up to Megan? What's going on, Megan? What direction was she going on NC 218? I can back that up for you. I can tell you exactly where. Hold on just a second. Uh-oh, come on. I hate when these websites get stuck. It says the mother drove around barricades on NC 218 and continued traveling east. AP. The mother drove around the barricades on NC 218 and continued traveling east. So that's the direction. Why did she go out? Great question. That's what we're trying to find out. And I think the mother actually owes the world an answer for that. She owes that county an explanation. I think she owes the entire world an explanation as to why we'll never know what this little boy is going to become. Because she was selfish and took this kid out in this storm, knowing how dangerous it was, and drove around barricades. No excuse for that. There isn't. There's no excuse for that. Yeah, it is, Carmel Cutie. Thank you very much. It is. It is. It's very sad. And I tend to talk about these stories. I know they seem sad, but they're always to be used to be a teaching point. So, you know, if there is bad weather, that type of thing does happen on the snow, the ice, the flooding, the weather, tornadoes, whatever it is. We absolutely have to make sure that we do what's best by our children. And I know that driving around barricades is not one of those things. Why did she even leave the location where she was at? That's the question. You guys are doing the most important thing that you could possibly do for the people that are watching on the replay. Always ask the questions because we need answers to those questions.
And her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades.
Oh, Lord, no! That's the answer, guys. No! Okay, we got our answer. This, oh my God, Dazia Lee. Dazia Lee. Oh, no. Lord. Okay, guys, listen to this. Here's the answer. Y'all want to know why this dummy left? Listen, here we go.
A heartbreaking update. Authorities have recovered the body of this 1-year-old boy swept away by floodwaters in North Carolina after the 1-year-old slipped from his mother's grip. Union County Sheriff's Office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218. The office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218. The office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218.
You guys hear that? Where the hell was she going? She was going to visit relatives. In a hurricane? What? Flooding waters? What? Gail, there's the answer right there. Listen again.
The office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218.
No freaking way. No freaking way. Tell me y'all can hear that.
The office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218.
She drove past barricades to go visit family members? What? No.
Says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218. Her car.
Get the No. Guys, I'm so glad that I pulled as many videos as I did because I don't know that I would have caught that listening to it the first time. Wow. Wow. Ida said no way in a hurricane. Darcy Ann said she failed her child. Hashtag where's the father? Thank you, Stephanie Ann. Thank you. Thank you, Angel. The father, excuse me, the husband and wife team. Thank you, Angel. Hashtag where's the father? Was her house flooded? Caramel Cutie, again, I love the questions. Because I think the questions are pertinent. But from what we understand, the basis for her leaving and driving through this stuff was because she was going to visit family. Let's just listen again. Maybe there's more to this that we don't know, but we will have this as a reference point.
Sheriff's Office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218. County Sheriff's Office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218.
Let me ask you guys a question. When somebody commits a crime, and this is a crime to drive around barricades, just to let everybody know, this is an absolute crime. It is an absolute crime. If you're going to commit a crime, the least you could do is come up with a good excuse. Am I lying? There better be a damn good excuse why you were committing a crime that cost your child his life. Can you guys agree with that? I'm watching what you guys are typing in the chat. If you guys haven't hit the thumbs up, look down, just scroll down a little bit, see if you've hit the thumbs up. It'll share the show and let other people know that we're live. Please do that for me. It'll help us out quite a bit. Jason Gunn said, this is why women need men. She was probably scared and had no man to protect them. That was my point from the jump. Thank you, my brother Jason Gunn. Thank you to everybody that recognized that. So to Gail, Stephanie, Amy, Ida, Caramel, Darcy Ann, was this not one of the first things I said? I said, would she have made this decision if the birth father of this child were in that household and he found out, you're going where? You're going to go visit relatives? Are you kidding me? And this stuff? No. And drive around barricades? No. There's no way the birth father would have allowed that to happen, even if the birth father wasn't shit. Even if he was a terrible person. I don't think the birth father would have allowed that to happen. Between the two of them, this does not happen. If they were together, this does not happen. Let's keep going.
Grip. Union County Sheriff's Office says the woman and her child were going to visit relatives when she drove past barricades on Highway 218. Her car was swept off the road by floodwaters, pinning it against a group of trees. Wow. She was able to free Caden Lee-Welch from his car seat, but as she tried to walk to safety, she says she lost her grip on him. So far, there have been 17 reported deaths from Hurricane Florence. Matt Uris for CBS Local News.
She was a stranger to this community, driving through this road she did not know. She did drive around the barricades and proceeded on 218 toward Wadesboro to be with her family. When she hit the water forced her off the road and across an open field.
We had 24 of our firemen that responded to this call. I would also like to tell the family of the victim, I'm very sorry for your loss. As a father myself, that's not something we want to go to any day of the week. New Salem Fire Department would like to tell you that to the family that we're praying for them, for their loss.
I'm going to tell you what this man wants to say. I'm a father, and I'm going to tell you what this father wants to say. Are you guys ready for this? If you can't handle the truth, exit the video. You got 5 seconds to do it before I tell you guys something that's probably going to hurt your sensibilities. What this father wants to say is, what kind of mother, what kind of parent would put their child's life at risk like this, driving around barricades, plural, barricades? What kind of parent would do something like this? What kind of a human being would put a child's life at risk like this to go visit family? I'm telling you guys, he is saying only what he can get away with saying, which is not much, but I'm going to go for him and tell you guys that's what he wants to say. No parent in their right mind would put their child in a stupid situation like this. That's what he wants to say. But listen to what he actually said.
Family of the victim, I'm very sorry for your loss. As a father myself,
there's no way I would have did some shit like this. That's what he want to say.
that's not something we want to go to any day of the week. New Salem Fire Department would like to tell you that to the family that we're praying for them, for their loss.
It's a busy night, man. We got about 123 people watching. A lot of people alive. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. It'll share our show and let other people know that we're live. Do me a favor as you guys come in and share the show. If you would, just hit the thumbs up. We've only had 2 people donate. For everybody else, if you want to donate, just donate a thumbs up, okay? Let me see. Kanisha said, I'm a mother myself and would have said no. Thank you. That's what a responsible parent would have done. And that's why I think it's important for us to have some support in the house. Mother and father in the house creates a level of support. If we talk about this between 2 people instead of one person making all the decisions, this child don't end up dead. So that's the conversation off. No, that's the conversation on camera. So to Dare or Dare or Derry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. That's the conversation on camera, but I'm telling you as a father what he wants to say.
Very tragic event. It don't happen. It shouldn't happen. We don't have a lot of these kind of calls down in New Salem, but when we do, it hits the firemen hard.
I can't speak to who moved the barricades. I can tell you that the barricades were up there. Whether someone else moved those barricades and she drove around them, I can't say.
The mother moved the barricades. That's why she's being charged. She moved them. She moved the barricades herself. That's why she's being charged with manslaughter as well as other crimes that pertain to driving around those barricades.
Rachel, thanks for that update. The wrath of what was Hurricane Florence hitting right here at home. The storm claiming the life of at least one child in Gaston County, and in Union County, the search is underway for another missing baby boy.
NBC Charlotte's Ariel Placencia now live from Union County, just north of Marshall, where a one-year-old baby boy was swept away by the floods. Ariel, what do we know?
What did he say? She could not keep that child from crying, and she left to go seek protection. The child made her afraid for their lives. That's what I meant. Okay. She could not keep her child crying, and she left to go seek protection. Okay. This is the thing. How, thank you, Jackal High, how as a Native American, I could say that part of my family is Native American. How, right? Just a joke. Anyway, how can a mother be seeking protection? The logic. How does a mother seek protection and go to the most dangerous situation possible? Like, the fuck? What? How are you running to protection, but you go to the most dangerous situation in a goddamn hurricane? Floodwaters out the ass. Grown people are drowning and dying in these things. And it's not like this is her first time hearing about this. We've heard about hurricanes in Louisiana. We all know about that. Everybody knows about Hurricane Katrina. Let's just screw all of the other hurricanes. Let's screw the ones that happen in Florida. Let's screw all the ones that happen anywhere else. Let's just talk about Louisiana. And we watched the carnage that unfolded from a hurricane, right? Everybody knows this. There's nobody that has any level of education from an educated mind, excluding the children, but an educated mind knows that many, many, many people died as a result of Hurricane Katrina. Yes? If we know that hurricanes are dangerous, why in the hell would a person, a human being, and a parent think that it's cool to drive around a fucking barricade? Are you kidding me? You move the motherfucking barricade out the way. You move these heavy barricades out the way. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just one barricade. I'm sure it was multiple barricades. Got out the car to move barricades, and they're telling you, if you drive on these roads, there's a good chance that it's going to sweep your car away. There's a good chance that you're going to risk your life doing so. What she did was against the law.
Well, Ben and Rachel, I started all my live reports on NC 218 right near Fish Road, and 218 closed at that area. And then I told you that I followed a fire truck down Fish Road, got all the way to here. And as you can see behind me now, this road is closed by the Union County Sheriff's Office. And if you go just past there, which is what we did about 10 minutes ago, that's where you'll see those dozens of emergency vehicles.
Exactly. Tom Dotson said, hashtag where's the father? I've been telling you guys this, because one thing you don't hear in this story ever, hardly ever, is where the father is in these key situations. If you put a father in a lot of these situations that I've been talking about, a lot of these things that happen to these children when we advocate for children first here at the So Do You Dig would not happen.
When we got there, I asked the Union County Sheriff's deputies on scene if they could confirm that they were there, in fact, for this case of the missing child. They said no comment, and then they asked us to...
Okay, Chassie said they made it about race. Explain to me how they made it about race. Oh, no. Okay, no way. Okay, guys. How many people are here because they heard this from the NAACP that they're talking about these people are racist? How many people are watching my video that are here because they heard this by way of the NAACP? Can we talk about this for a moment? We might have to extend this video a little bit longer. I know some of you guys don't have a lot of time, but let's talk about this. So let's go ahead and talk about the NAACP just for a moment. North Carolina mother charged in death of son who drowned in a hurricane, prompting accusation of racism from the NAACP. Chassie, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. There's no way. No way. There's no way that this is real. I'm gonna read this. On September 16th, Dazia Lee of Charlotte, North Carolina, lost her son, Caden, during Hurricane Florence when floodwaters rushed her car. On Monday, she was charged in the toddler's death with manslaughter, rightfully so. That's my opinion. The Union County Sheriff's Office charged Lee, who was age 20, with involuntary manslaughter and driving on a closed or unopened highway, which is against the goddamn law. Thinking the storm was over, Lee had strapped the 1-year-old Caden Lee-Welch into his car seat and headed towards her grandmother's house. She told the Washington Post that she saw cars emerging from the road that barricades along the sides and thought it was safe. But after she drove past the barricades, a rush of water hit her car, and when she tried to escape with Caden, she lost her grip on him. His body was found the next day. End of story. He's gone. That's the end of the story. Charge her, she gets her jail time. End of story. That's simple, right? But here goes the BS. You guys smell that? We got 143 people watching. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up. If you guys smell bullshit coming, hit that thumbs up. Here we go. At that conference, Union County Sheriff Eddie Cathy said barricades had been put up on the road. Whether someone else moved those barricades and she drove around them, I can't say, he said. Meaning there's a level of deniability that maybe she wasn't the one that did it, but I'm telling you guys, I believe that she did. This mama has suffered tragically, Cathy said. She lost a child, that's all you can say, but let me say this. These were dangerous times, and driving through water where the roads are closed is dangerous for anybody. Lee was served with the summons to appear in court on November 20th. The manslaughter charge is a Class F felony, carries a 13 to 16-month potential sentence, Underwood said. For the life of killing your damn child, I think that's nothing. That's a slap on the wrist in my opinion. If it were a man that did it, I bet you it would have been 13 to 15 years, but we'll bookmark that with our pens. We'll come back to that another time. So here we go. She was attempting to get her child out of the car, not to have her child die, and to charge her on top of that fact that she's mourning for the rest of her life. That represents implicit bias, insensitivity, and even racism, Max said. I skipped a part. Telephone messages and texts left for Lee were not answered. To Corin Mack, president of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg branch of the NAACP, the decision to charge Mack I can't talk. The decision to charge Lee smacks of racism. She was attempting to get her child out the car, not to have her child die, and on top of charging her, the fact that she's mourning over her child for the rest of her life, that represents implicit bias, insensitivity, and even racism, Max said. Noting that 2 sheriff's deputies have not been charged in the drowning deaths of 2 mental patients and their care during the storm, she added, black men and women are disproportionately arrested and charged for similar infractions of white citizens who are not arrested or charged. Those 2 officers were fired last week. African Americans are 2.5 times likely to be arrested as white people, according to a report by the Center for American Progress. African Americans also represent 13% of the U.S. population, yet 40% of those incarcerated, the report said. Chastity, I love you for this. My sister Chastity, I love you for this. Thank you for sending this to me. They say it was unclear what kind of legal representation Lee has, but the single mother has already been subject to judgment in the court of internet commentators. This guy, yes, internet commentators, asshole. Why? Because you guys from the NAACP are race baiters. Sorry, you guys are doing more harm than you are good for the black community. I can safely say that Soto Nation has probably done more for the black community than the NAACP has. Is that going to get my channel flagged? Does the NAACP not like what I have to say? Do they not like my opinion? Well, it's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Since you guys are entitled to your opinion, to accuse them of racism, of her taking her own kid in the floodwaters. Come on, man. What? If that's your guys' opinion, then should we not be entitled to our opinion? We think that she was dumb for taking her kid for a dumb reason to go visit supposed family members in the middle of a flood and moving barricades, which is against the law, drove on it on your own volition and caused your child to die. If you knew that it was dangerous and you took your kid into the eye of the volcano, then God damn it, yes, that is your intention, is to kill your kid. Let me say that again. If you take your child into the eye of a volcano, then yes, it is your intention to kill your kid. Why would you put your kid in danger like that? Because if your kid had an option, if your kid were old enough to fight you back and to stand against your tyranny and your criminal behavior, then your kid will probably choose to not go with you to go do something that is criminal. What you did amounts to criminality, the criminal mindset. If we change the mindset, then we can fix our community. But as long as we continue to keep giving these people excuses, you're going to give her 13 months for putting her child, who had no chance. Her child stood no chance against his mother. This child is 1 year old and depends on his mother for food, water, shelter, leadership, care, changing, washing him, cleaning his mouth out, for everything. Why is she not accountable for putting her child in the position to lose his life in a flood? Who the hell does the NAACP think they are? You live in a white man's country and mad because they favor white people more than they do black people? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Would y'all go to China and be mad that Chinese people think of their people more highly than they do of any other race of people in their own country? What? It's a weird mindset. Why would anybody go to any other country and expect for those countries to not treat everybody the same way? Because they're not. They're going to have favoritism. Black people have plenty of favoritism when it comes to them having power in certain situations. Do we not? When we have the power, do we not try to show the favor to our people over anybody else? You goddamn right we do. Now, who wants to donate for that rant right there? Who wants to hit that thumbs up for that rant right there? Who wants to tell the NAACP and write them a letter and send them this link to this video and have them flaggy my video based on what I said? What I said is factual information. Why is this mother not responsible for picking her child up and taking her child, putting it in a car seat? It's not like if she didn't know that there was a hurricane, if she didn't know that there were barricades, if she doesn't have any cognitive awareness of what's going on around her, then fine. maybe there's an excuse. But then again, maybe there's not an excuse because that means she wouldn't have a license, meaning she wouldn't be able to drive a car legally in the United States of America according to the laws that she signed up for. She agreed to the privilege of driving. If you agree to the privilege of driving in the United States of America, then you have signed your contract that you're going to follow the laws that they have set before you based on what they feel like makes sense for the majority of the United States of America, for this country. So since you signed up and you agreed to that, then you are taking full responsibility when you sit behind that wheel, that you are going to know what's going on around you. Be aware of what's going on around you. Be aware of the signs that are around you. Be aware where you can drive and where you can't drive. The roads can't do the thinking for you. Are we that dumb? Why are we talking about the fact that our sisters are the most educated in the United States of America, but yet we can't hold them accountable for making a choice that led them down to the wrong production? I'll say that again. How can our sisters be classified as the most educated in the United States of America when too many of them are not being held accountable for the choices that they made that led them to a bad product? The product in this equation was her son ended up dying because of the fact that she didn't see or didn't pay attention to or just outright didn't give a shit about the variables that were in the equation. That is the hurricane, that is the unsafe roads, that is the barricades and floodwaters. Why is she not held accountable for that? Why does the NAACP, well, it was racism. What? It was what? NAACP? Racism. NAACP. Whomever wants to contact me, y'all see my email address, email me and explicitly explain to me how racism made this mother get out of the house, take her 1-year-old son, put him in the car, drive, knowing it was a hurricane, get out of the car, move barriers or drive around barriers, whatever, and drive into unsafe conditions because you've seen other people doing it. Where does racism play a role in your decision making? Because you know what that makes me think? Makes me think that our people just ain't that damn smart. So let's think about this. If racism caused this, then I think that racism should also prevent us from having children, from having possession of children, from being able to continue to procreate our children, since we can't be held accountable for our own actions. Essentially, we almost become like animals. Is that not right? When the act is egregious enough, you put the animal down. But until then, if somebody gets scratched, scarred, maimed, bitten, stung, venomized, you just think of it as it's an animal. They think of us as animals based on our decision making. So I'm going to tell you guys this. In the animal world, because I watch a lot of animal videos, they tend to give more credence or less to animals based on their decision making. Uh-oh, can I say that again? Is that going to get my channel flagged? Let me say it again. They give more credence or less to animals in the animal kingdom based on their decision making. Essentially, The view of us is animalistic. Why? Because of the way that we act based on the power that we have. The power that we have is a very, very strong one, believe it or not. When they're talking about this supremacy is keeping us down and such and all of this other BS and excuses, has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the decisions that we're making. We make these choices in private, and the rest of the world has to deal with our choices. Everybody got that? We make decisions in private, and the rest of the world has to suffer for the things that we do in public. Why not put the onus on the people that are making decisions in private? What you do in private, you're going to be responsible for it. You want to have 1,000 guns loaded up at your house? Well, you better be accountable for every one of them. If one turns up missing or someone turns around and take one of your guns and go commit a crime with it. That's the way we treat everybody else, is it not? If somebody breaks into your house and takes your gun and goes out and commits a crime, if you didn't know that your gun was gone, are they not going to come back and look at you and hold you accountable for that weapon being in somebody else's possession? The mother couldn't control the storm, but the storm controlled the mother and her son. Why? Because she chose to put herself in a position for the storm to deal with her. Because she wasn't smart enough to sit at home until the state of North Carolina told her it was safe to drive. Can your boy get some love for what I just said? Anybody out there feeling what I'm saying, or are y'all just listening? Am I just ranting and raving? Am I just blowing hot air into this mic? Am I just wasting my time here almost at 11:30 at night? Or what? Commenters on Sheriff's Office Facebook page blamed Lee for everything from not grieving in the right way to setting up a GoFundMe page asking for help with expenses to simply making the decision to drive down the wrong road. So glad they decided to charge her, one wrote. She should have known better than driving around barriers. When I heard about that, I knew something wasn't right. But when I saw her giving the news interview, I knew that she would be absolutely charged, and then the GoFundMe account that just absolutely sickened me to my stomach. Another wrote, she said on the news she told him to hold on to her hand and she just let it go. You don't tell a baby to hold on to you and put him inside your shirt. Hold on to that child with your life, but don't tell a baby to hold on to your hand and then say he let it go. Really, lady, I hope you can sleep at night. A few were compassionate. Let's not be quick to judge, one wrote. It only takes a second to make a wrong decision, resulting in a lifetime of regret. This could have been any one of us, your sister, your cousin, friend, coworker. Lee's GoFundMe page has since been taken down. Thank God. Guys, I know I said a lot of stuff that is not going to sit well with your sensibilities, that the NAACP will come out and say anything. It's like the boy that cried wolf. If you want somebody to believe that the wolf is coming, then don't cry wolf unless a wolf is actually coming. Why? Because the people are not going to be prepared to believe you when it's time to really gear up for danger. The people are not going to believe you when it's time to gear up for danger. So if you're calling this racism, a person that made their own decision, there was nobody else around her except her and her son. Hashtag we're the fathers. Nobody else around her. She got in the car, decided to drive in a hurricane, drove around barriers in a hurricane, seen other people doing it in a hurricane, and got swept off the road. End of story. You can't drive around a barrier. End of story. Your son died because you chose to get him out the house. End of story. She did the crime. She should do the time. If anybody outside of their emotions can tell me why she doesn't deserve to be sitting in a jail cell for years and not months, Please let me know if anybody else has a valid reason why this is considered to be racism. Because the NAACP is on some bull crap, and they can kiss my ass on that. That's some bull crap. That's BS. Whoever issued that statement from the NAACP, like for real, needs to be reprimanded for that. Seriously. I damn sure will be the one to do it. Y'all make sure and send them my video, and you tell them DJJustJayOK said that you guys need to call racism out when it happens. This is not the case. I just find it unbelievable that you have to physically prevent people from putting their own lives in danger, and then they're going to turn around and blame the state for it. They're going to blame racism on it. That's insane. If there is flooding, what is she driving around for? A loon tune? That's my whole point. Thank you so much. That is my whole point. That is my whole point. She was driving to go see family. Now tell me where racism comes in to play. Where?
The mother of a 1-year-old boy who died in the floodwaters of Hurricane Florence in South Carolina is being charged in the boy's death. 21-year-old Dazia Lee reportedly drove her car past barricades and onto a closed roadway during the storm last month, and the rising floodwaters swept into her car. At the time, she told local news reporters she panicked but tried to stay calm. She reportedly was able to get her son Caden out of his car seat, but the rushing water caused her to lose her grip, and he was swept away by the fast-moving water. Her car was pinned up against trees due to the force of the current. Lee was rescued and detectives searched for hours for the little boy. His body was found the next morning. Lee has been charged with involuntary manslaughter and driving down a closed highway. For Global,
Dazia Lee is clinging to memories of her only child, 14-month-old Caden Lee-Welch.
Caden was really a sweet boy. He was a fighter. He really was, and he was just always energetic and ready to, play with you.
Mother and son were on their way from Charlotte to Wadesboro Sunday night when they got to Highway 218 in New Salem in Union County. Authorities say she drove around a roadblock and into raging floodwaters from Richardson Creek that washed her car into this field.
We've been trying to search him pretty much this whole day until we got a call saying that they found him, but unfortunately he's passed. He's gone. There's no way to bring him back.
Guys, am I wrong? Am I wrong for saying this? Where are the tears in her eyes if she's so sad? Any of you pro-blacks want to explain that to me? Maybe there was a tear that came out. Let me rewind it, because it might have been. It might have been a tear. Maybe I just missed the tear.
This whole day until we got a call saying that they found him, but unfortunately he's passed. He's gone. There's no way to bring him back.
Does anybody see anything wrong with this? You know what people say in my comment section? You can't judge a person for how they're grieving and this and that. Yeah, you can. Yes, you can. Because if she started busting out laughing, if a father did it, if he busted out laughing, would they not judge him? If he bursted out crying, would they not judge him? If he got upset, would they not judge him? We judge a person based on their actions and reactions. We do it all the time because it is an accurate depiction as to what's going on in that person's heart, because what's going on in that person's heart is in their mind. More times than none, you can make some type of a depiction as to what's going on into their thought process based on their actions and reactions. Her reaction to this is no tears, calm voice, not crackling, not sad, but just, well, they did all they could do. Really? Okay. For you guys that are ready for part 2 of this, can you guys hit the thumbs up for me? If you guys are ready for part 2 of this. Because most of you guys, we got about 130 people watching. Hit the thumbs up button for me. If you guys are ready for me to say some stuff that I have become known for on the Soto You Dig, then let me know. Let's hear it, Jay. Let me hear somebody say it in the chat. If you guys are ready for me to be super, super honest with you, give me a thumbs up. Or let me know you're ready. Because I'm about to say something that is not going to sit with most of you guys' sensibility very well at all. I'm pre-warning you. You guys got about 30 seconds to leave my channel so I don't get flaggied. You guys got about 30 seconds to leave my channel because I'm about to say something that is going to make a lot of you mad. So for the people that are watching this, I'm cutting this off on the replay. I'm telling you that right now. Guys ready for this? So for the 130 people who are watching, this is going to be the only people that get a chance to hear this. Unless you're recording it. All right, here we go. I think DJJustJayOK, I think that this mother took her son into those floodwaters and killed him on purpose. Shit. It's getting hot in here. Woo! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I just lose about 1,000 subscribers for that one? Did I just lose some viewers for that one? Did I just get about 100 more thumbs down for that one? Uh-oh. Did I just become YouTube's list of people that they might try to knock off my channel based on what I said? Thank you, Jason Gunn. Jason Gunn caught it. Jason Gunn said this was a great way to cover up a murder. How many stories have I done where I have pointed out to you guys that grandmothers have cut their kids' throats and threw them in the oven and tried to burn up the evidence? How many stories have I done where mothers have taken guns and pointed the guns and shot the kids in the head and then tried to make it seem like the kid did it to themselves? How many times have I did stories where mothers have drowned their children? How many times have I done stories where mothers have set their children on fire, have run over their children, have beat their children to death, hung their children, taped their children to walls, stabbed their children, broke their children's neck, slammed their babies on the bed and broke their neck, threw them against the wall? Uh-oh. Yeah, that's gonna get me flaggied. That's gonna get me flaggied. That might be the one that'll do it. I'm gonna say that again. All jokes aside. How many of you people thought about that? Honestly. Look at this face. She is not remorseful. She is not sad. She don't give a damn. And hashtag, where's the father? You don't hear from him. How many of these chicks have something positive to say about the fathers? None. None of them do. How many of these chicks have something positive to say on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram about their kid's father? None. How many times have you seen stories like Michael Garrett and his daughter, Anaya Day Garrett, where the father wants to be in his kid's life, and Sierra Day said, you know what? I don't want you to be in your kid's life. I don't want you to gain custody of this kid, so I'm just going to kill the kid. R.I.P. Anaya Day Garrett. Justice for Anaya. Justice for Anaya. Justice for Anaya and all the children that cannot stand up to the tyranny of these parents that have custody of these children. Gray Bullet. Miss June Bennett. Darcy Ann. All my ladies out there that I always get these positive messages from, my sisters. I need y'all to let me know, Megan Cadden, I need y'all to let me know when I'm saying something that I should not be saying. Only God can judge? No, we all judge. Police judge. Judges judge, politicians judge, United States citizens judge, parents judge, teachers judge, principals judge. Hall monitors judge. Pastors judge. Everybody judges. If we are to be Christians, as in Christ-like, then why would we not do what Christ does, which is judge? Let's not play this Bible shit with me. I grew up in church. I grew up being a youth counselor in these church camps and programs. I taught the word. I know a lot of what's in that Bible. If we are to act as God did, then God judges. Jesus judges. We all judge. We all ought to judge. I'm looking at what you guys are writing in the comment section. No. Because what are sins, K-Man? What are sins? Talk to me, guys. Let's have a conversation about this. What is a sin? A sin is not something you do while you're dead. Just let me know if I'm wrong about that. I could be missing. I could be wrong on this. We all judge, Tony. Tony. We all judge. That's the only way that we can live. How do you choose whether a person is breaking the law or not? You judge them. How do we pick and choose the rules that children follow? We judge based on what we see. We judge based on the things that we saw in the past. A sin is a judgment. You can't commit a sin if you're dead. I'll take calls. Who wants to call in? We got to make it quick though. True, but I'm talking about heaven and hell. No, I get that. I get that, K-Man. I know what you were saying. But I would just point it out for some other people though. Sins are actions that are based on law. Okay. Darcy Ann said something also. We judge in marriage. Darcy Ann said, how do you pick and choose who to date and who to marry? You make a judgment call. Absolutely. Yep. We judge. We all should judge. If you were to go see a snake in the grass, would you just go grab that snake, not knowing whether it's poisonous or not? You pay attention to the things that are going on around that snake, and you make a judgment call before you go grabbing that snake. You don't just automatically, it's not poisonous, and you go grab it. You make a judgment call on a lot of things. This mother made a judgment call to drive into this storm with her 1-year-old kid. That's a judgment call. She thought it was safe. Thought, judge. Remember, like I say, don't take what I'm saying as a personal attack on any particular person here. But always, I'm encouraging people to just change their mindset and just think. That's all I'm trying to do. We all are to judge. So check it out. Here's the definition. To judge is to form an opinion or a conclusion about. Scientists were judged according to competence. Synonyms: form the opinion, conclude, decide. Decide a case in court, give a verdict on someone in court. She was judged innocent of murder. Synonyms: adjudge, pronounce, decree, rule, fine. She was judged innocent of the murder. Decide the results of a competition. We judge people in gymnastics, do we not? Based on their performance. We judge students in school based on their grades and behavior, do we not? Yes, Ray Turner said, we all judge, but God has the final judgment. Right. But you're saying but as in negating what I said, like almost as if what I said was incorrect. There can't be a but there. You can say we all judge and God has the final judgment. If you change that but in the and, I agree with you. If the but stays there, then I would have to disagree with you. Because you're negating the fact that we all judge. We all have the right to judge. And if we are to be Christ-like, little Christians, like Christ, Christ judges, God judges, the Holy Spirit judges, Jesus judges. Jesus made a judgment on the people. Jesus made a judgment on who he was around. Jesus made a judgment based on the things that he believed. So if we are to be Christ-like, why would we not do the same thing? No, I get you, Ray. I think we're on the same page. I'm just correcting one little thing. All I'm doing is just correcting the but into an and. That's all. That's it. Ray Turner, we're on the same page, I believe. I believe we're on the same page. Hop said she ignored the barricades, thus broke the law. Absolutely. Why cross the water? Why not turn around? Those are the questions I love. Rick Rooster, let's not talk about Trump right now. Let's not bring Trump into this discussion right now, man. If you judge, we can be judged. It's almost kind of like if I make a judgment on these stories, then do people have the right to judge what I say about the stories? Yes. You have the right to challenge what I said. You have the right to talk to me and tell me and correct me if I'm wrong about something. Chaz said, you may be right about the murder thing. This makes no sense. The 1-year-old was swept away in rushing waters of Richardson Creek. Paramedics on the scene also had to be rescued when their ambulance got caught in floodwaters. Caden's body was found in about 10 feet of water. He was pinned between the car's front bumper and a tree. Uh-oh. Chaz, the video is in the way. Can you scoot that video up and send me that again? Miss Parker Lynn has questions. Thank you guys. I'm glad that you guys can see that not only that we can have, we can be comical here, You know, we can be loving here. We can be, you know, passionate here. We can debate here. We can do all of those things. That's what I think makes this channel so great. That's what I think makes the audience so great. Because I love the people that are here. Tony, Ray, Darcy Ann, Fee, Miss Lynn, you know, CJ, all you guys. I love that you guys are here. You guys are actually putting forth, you know, opinions that I think we can work with. We're not over here name calling. We're not over here. You know what? I got to tell you guys, I got to give you guys some credit before I cut this show off. I really do. For everybody that's here, even y'all first time people that are here, I don't think I've seen one person name call anybody here. Nobody name called me. Nobody name called anybody in the chat. And I got to give you guys some credit for that. Everything that was said in the chat, people either agreed, disagreed, or they challenged. There was no name calling, and I got to give y'all some credit for that. But that's the type of audience that I want us to have. Those are the type of people and minds that we want to have here. Because if we have those kind of minds, I think that we could do a lot. I think that we could do a lot here together. Ray said, love what you do. Keep it up, fam. Ray, man, this wouldn't even be possible, man, without you guys, you know, watching, listening, you know, having your opinions, having your thoughts. A lot of you guys sometimes will send me links. Believe it or not, man, sometimes y'all will help me get through the week, sometimes just sending me stories so that way we can cover some things that I might have missed. Because there's a lot of stories that I've seen that I've already got set aside that I want to do. But then you guys will send me something like, Jay, you missed this one. What about this story? And I'll do a story based on what y'all send me. This show works as a collective, as a unit. The more we continue to have these conversations, the more factual links that you guys sent me, the more conversations that we have, you know, the better that we can all get together and the better I can be as far as leading this particular platform. All I am is one voice that advocates for children first. That's it. I think in this situation, I call it murder. Me personally, based on what I see, Dre, I'll check it right now, bro. I call it murder because there was absolutely no reason for this woman to leave the house with that kid. None. And I like what somebody else said. They said you don't tell a 2-year-old kid to hold on to your hand and then somehow you let the kid's hand go. It's a 1-year-old kid. If anybody need to be swept away, it should be the mama, not the kid. That kid should have been around your neck, should have been like held on to you here. There's no reason. Talk about hold my hand. Think about that. You got called a name. Well, I didn't see it, so I guess it don't count, right? We haven't had to block. We haven't had to timeout. We haven't had to do any of that. Let me see. Raider of Jesu, thank you very much for sending me that. Rick Rooster, are you still in the chat? Thank you for what you sent me. Darcy Ann sent me an email. Nate sent me another email. Man, you guys are on it, boy. But if I can help out with it. Okay. Let me answer that question to the last person that wrote me about an hour ago. I don't even know if he's watching, but I'll say this. Your first name starts with a T, last name starts with an S. So that person, this is who I'm responding to. If you ever want to contribute to the show in a monetary form, if you're able to afford it, then all you have to do is start at $1. If you do it through PayPal, then it will only cost you 4 quarters. You could even do that just one time a month. In my opinion, I think that all of us can find 4 quarters in a month to donate to something. Even if we're financially strapped. Because if you think about it, taxes are, if y'all ever look at y'all phone bills or anything that you pay for, you know, it seems like the taxes and fees and stuff that they charge you fluctuate all the time. It seems like maybe not taxes, but fees do. So we pay for fees and stuff like that all the time. And, you know, they will fluctuate more, definitely a lot more than just 4 quarters. So if you find it in your budget to be able to do that, cool. If not, then I always ask, you know, at least start with just hitting the thumbs up every single show. Share the show every single time that you watch the show. That type of stuff will bring in more people that were never here before. Because I'm telling you guys, I'm looking at Fee Rog. I'm looking at Lovejoy. I'm looking at, where's my other guy that was in here? I was just giving him a shout out a minute ago. Hold on. Oh, Dre, I don't know if that was you that sent me that email, Dre. I'll look at my email again. Who was that? Damn it. To Ray Turner. I think that was my first time seeing Ray here. And Amy Okami. I think this is my first time seeing her here. Or that person here. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not exactly sure about the profile pictures. But for a lot of people, I see them here for the first time. And a lot of those people end up coming here because they've shared the show and they put it out there somewhere, whether it's on social media or I've seen my show pop up on people's websites I've never even heard of before. But a lot of times when you guys do that, there's somebody else that will see it. And maybe those people might be a little bit in a better position to be able to donate to the show. So in turn, you have made your contribution. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that, bro. So yeah, like I say, I don't ever want you guys to reaching into your pockets if you can't afford it. Don't ever think that that's what I'm here for. I DJ all the time, and I do have a part-time job. As you guys know, a lot of times I'll end up having to leave the show early, and I'll have to go work that part-time job. But I'd make enough money to sustain myself. Everything else that comes after that helps. It helps me have more time here. It helps me get more videos done. It helps me pay for things that need to be taken care of with regard to the financial portion of, you know, little things. You know, all of those things add up. The people that subscribe on Patreon, you know, your GSD moms, your Gray Bullet, all of those people on there, everything helps. It might seem like it's small, but it helps out a lot. And I always leave that up to you guys' discretion. That's not something I want to force you to do. That's not something I want you to be conscious about. It's just if you like, you know what, I want to send this dude something, cool. If not, then just hit the thumbs up. I promise you. I want the show to get big. If it gets big to a point, all that other stuff will come with it. Just gained a new subscriber, thumbs up as well. 3 Alston. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And what's up to Donna Bradshaw? Thank you guys. All I want to do is spread a message of love. I speak from love. Because one thing that is hard for people to debate me on, and Lovejoy Jackson, thank you, said this is your first time. Thank you. I appreciate that. Why is she being charged, Fashion Nova? Because she drove through barricades, which you weren't supposed to do. And I think that they pre-warn you in most cities whenever there's a hurricane going on that you should stay at home. They're giving you basically an order to stay at home. And when you disobey those orders, you'll have to be held accountable when you get yourself caught up in a bad situation. So she's being charged with manslaughter for putting her kid in a situation that her kid didn't need to be in. So that's what she's being charged with. She's been charged with driving around barriers and being charged with manslaughter of her kid. Proper like, thank you very much. You took psych classes in college? You know what? I got to tell you guys, for you people that do have a specialty like that, like psychology, I value you guys' opinions. Always post what you really truly believe based on the facts that you have, based on the knowledge that you've acquired. Because if I'm wrong, you guys have the right to be able to tell me, Jay, this is where you might be missing something at. Iron sharpens iron. Our people in our chat make this show what it is. It makes, I don't think this show would be as good as it is if we didn't have all of these sharp people in here. I'm telling you guys, we haven't had to block one person. We haven't had to time out one person. We haven't had one troll come through to the show. we haven't had one person name call another person on this show. Not to me and not to everybody else. And I think that's a positive thing. The fact that we are here because we care about what happened to her son, not necessarily about her. She's grown. She made her choice, and she made a horrible choice to take her son and put him in the midst of hurricane weather. Her 1-year-old son did not stand a chance based on her decisions. As parents, we are judged on the decision making that we make for our children. This is coming from a father's perspective. If my daughter turns into be something or turns into be nothing, that is going to be a judgment on me and her mother. My daughter has her father in her life. I am in her life. We talk, we communicate, we have a great relationship. I tell you guys this all the time. I speak to my daughter with love, and I speak to my daughter with facts, and my daughter watches my show. You guys will see my daughter in the chat from time to time. Sometimes I'll talk about her, and then she'll just pop up in the chat. Her mom and her grandmother and her family members know that she watches my show, and sometimes they watch my show. The same stuff that I speak on my show, which is why it's okay even for kids that want to come here. The other day we had a conversation why an 11-year-old was in my chat. Well, if my daughter's in my chat along with that 11-year-old, then that's the same type of parenting skills that I'm teaching my daughter. I'm teaching my daughter about things that I'm telling her about life that I want her to learn as a 5th grader as I would to somebody else's 5th grader. It's okay. It's okay. What we talk about here are very key life lessons that children absolutely need to hear. What we're talking to is a lot of parents here that should disseminate this down to their children. But for the most part, the type of things that we talk about, you can absolutely put the kids in front of this. Shout out to all the people in the chat right now that do let their children listen to my show. Because they'll tell you. Shout out to those families that sit down together, like the Honeycutt family. That sit down together as a family and listen to what I have to say about these stories. They listen to me get impassioned. They listen to what I truly care about. And I think that makes us all better people. Everybody on YouTube has a completely different message, a completely different MO. We all are very different. It is up to you guys to make the judgment and the decision as to what you guys believe in and what you guys want to support. That's all I want to do is I just want to be that ray of sunshine in a very gloomy world. I think that we all can get better. We just have to do it together. We have to come together as a country. We are all Americans first. We should all be advocates for children first. All right. But I want to thank you guys. Let me see. She was in the zone that asked people to evacuate. Yes, Donna. Yes, she was. Yes, indeed. Yep. But the people that stay in those areas, they say, hey, well, you better stay inside the house because it's going to be pretty bad. You try to drive around in that stuff, you're going to end up with a problem just like this. But like I said, I think it's deeper, no pun intended. I think it's deeper than the story that we heard. I personally think that she might have did this on purpose. To our 1-year-old kid, I want to hear from the father, and I can almost guarantee you that the father is not going to have a lot of positive things to say about mama. If he does, I'd be damn shocked. How much money do you guys want to put on that? Because if there's any level of animosity between the mother and the father, I can almost guarantee that this might not have been something that just accidentally happened. You don't just randomly, I'm going to go see family. You drag your kid off into dangerous flood waters and let their hand go when they're only 1 year old, meaning they're probably just starting to learn how to walk, meaning they're light enough for you to be able to carry. All I'm saying is that there's some funny stuff going on in this story, and maybe we'll find out. God willing, maybe we'll find out, but we'll see. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Thank you guys so very much. Me and my mom watch you often. Donna, tell your mom I said hi and thank you guys very much. If you guys live in the, I'm also clairvoyant, clairaudient. She was going to commit suicide, but she was not woman enough to go through with it. Okay. That's an interesting perspective. I would not doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt that. Dad probably lives in another state. My money is on GA. Guys, that's all I'm talking about. All we got to do is just think. We think, we use our cognitive awareness until we find out what the facts are. That's it. Let me say thank you to my guy, Jamel. He's in the chat. I want to say thank you to him. He sent some love through while we're still live. Let me also say thank you to my brother Jason Gunn. 1031 means 33 years ago, I left home and joined the Army. I remember being at Fort Knox in a red Lee jean suit with some white Adidas and a Kango. This date reminds me that I was able to change my future and become successful. My brother Jason Gunn, you know I love you, my brother. Thank you so much for that message. That's amazing. Thank you to Jason Gunn. The little things, Loon Tune. Hope I did Patreon right. Loon Tune, you absolutely did. Yes, you did. I'm almost positive you did. So what'll happen, I think it'll start on the 1st. It's always at the 1st of the month or whenever you sign up. I think it takes it right then and there. So you ought to see it come out of the account right then and there. So that's the way you'll know it's set up like that. So that way that you guys know that as soon as it comes up, you'll know it's coming right then and there. It only happens one time. It doesn't happen a bunch of times. It only happens one time. So the fee comes out on my end. So you guys don't even have to worry about any fees. So if you want to contribute to the show, then it's a pretty easy way to do that. Again, thank you guys so much for listening to this story. I have gotten myself worked up and I got to stay up and do some more stories for you guys that I'm going to release here tomorrow. So I'm going to be up all night getting stories done for you guys. But I want to say thank you to you guys so much. We're going to ride out to some music. Let me give you guys this album and let's go. Shout out to my brother Call 4405 again. Thank you guys so much. As I'm a DJ and also, I'm sorry. I meant to tell you guys, if you guys are in the Dallas area, please make sure that you go to TommySotomayor.com. I will be in Dallas with my brother Tommy. When he does the show, I'll be DJing the show. So if you guys want to meet us in person or just meet Tommy in person, but you know, if you guys do want to end up meeting me, I'm in Texas. Holla at your boy, man. We can get it in. Again, thank you guys so much for joining the show. Y'all have a great night. Thank you very much. The father is not incarcerated. He has a baby on the way with a woman and does not want anything to do with her. She stalks him and has tried to fight the girlfriend on several occasions. No freaking way. No freaking way. Proper, like, are you serious? Before we end the show, I want y'all to hear what she just said. No freaking way. I know we did not just get an update. Wow. The father is not incarcerated. He has a baby on the way with a woman and does not want anything to do with Dazia. With Dazia Lee, the woman that so-called swept this kid away in floodwaters. He doesn't want anything to do with her. She stalks him and has tried to fight the girlfriend on several occasions. I'm going to tell you guys this. AP, you're wondering the same thing I'm wondering, but let me tell you this. All I'm saying, right, that's what Ree said, what I'm thinking. I'm just not surprised of hearing that. I'm not going to question whether that part is true or not. Like I said, we can all do our research and try to find that out. But does that make sense, though? Based on what we see. We know that the mother's story didn't make any sense. You're driving in floodwaters to go see your family, and you know that it's floodwaters. You see the floodwaters. You drive into it, and all of a sudden, you're holding your kid by the hand in floodwaters? a 1-year-old that probably can barely walk. All I'm saying is that it follows a narrative that makes sense. He has another woman pregnant, wants nothing to do with this Dazia chick. Just like with Anaya Day Garrett. Michael Garrett did not want to have anything to do with Sierra Day. And Sierra Day got jealous that Anaya Day Garrett did not want to go home with her. She was being beat. She was being abused. And the mother killed her daughter 4 days before their court hearing for the custody because Michael Garrett was going to win. Wow. Ray Turner said, wow, if the story is true, she did that to get back at him. Do you guys know any women that would go through some extremes to get back at a man? Think about this. Something that me and Tommy talk about all the time is the child support thing. How many women go to child support court to get money from a man? Do they go to court to get money from a man? Some do, yes. But the majority of them do it to punish a man. Child support is more punishment for the man than anything. They want to harm a man because if you guys think about it, if that man doesn't pay child support and he goes to jail, he's not going to have a job. He's not going to have a business license. He's going to lose his car, potentially lose his house. Once he gets out of jail, he still ain't going to have shit. And he's not able to work off his debt in jail. So when he gets out, she still ain't going to have no money. And now he's going to have even less and going to have even more difficulty of getting back into the workforce, which means he's going to have more difficulty giving her money that he's not going to be able to afford to give her anyway. So if you think about that, why would she be okay with him being in jail if he's not paying? It's a punishment. They want to punish and harm a man emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. It's a punishment. We have all heard stories where women have done things just to piss the man off, to piss the girlfriend off. How many stories have I done? Scroll back in my videos and look. On all the stories where something has happened to a kid or something has happened to a man or vice versa, just because that person was being vindictive. Can we go over the facts one more time? I'm about to end it so you can see the story all over again. But at the end of the day, they're saying that she drove around barriers, got swept off the road, kid died. I'm saying she intentionally took the kid down there to kill the kid. The information that we got from one of the members in our chat from Proper Light said the father is not incarcerated. He has a baby on the way with a woman that doesn't want anything to do with Dazia Lee, this baby's mom, and stalks this dude, the father of this kid, and tried to fight the girlfriend on several occasions. And we believe, and I said this before Proper Light even said it, I think the mother did it intentionally. Child support ain't about the money. There is nobody on earth or in the United States of America that absolutely will not be able to feed their kid if they don't get $10,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $100,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $1,000 a month. If we want to talk about strong mothers and strong parenting, my dad's mom had all kinds of kids and was still able to put food on that table. And a lot of times didn't have a whole lot of support. So how many of you people know the real struggle when your parent goes out there and works their ass off to make sure and put food on the table and not dependent on the state for a damn thing? I grew up in a household where my mother and my father worked their ass off to make sure that we had fresh clothes, good food, a roof over our head, be able to clean ourselves, have all of the bare essentials that we need. If we needed glasses, we had it. If we needed medication, we had it. If there was anything essential we needed, we had it. We didn't run to the government. My parents provided it. How many of you people grew up with parents that really put it on their back, that really put the responsibility on their back and went to go work 1 job, 2 jobs, working 40 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours a week? How many people out there either did it or have parents that did it for them, that went out there and didn't ask for anything from anybody? It doesn't take away from the people that need help. But what I'm saying is that we have a lot of people out there in the world that take on that responsibility and put that weight completely on their shoulders, and they don't wait for anybody or anything. They just do it. I think that they should be acknowledged. I think that it is commendable. And I think that it is important to make sure that we work hard to make sure that our kids don't have to. Ray says she must have been trying to use the kid to keep the father. How many times have we heard of that scenario? All we're saying is that it happens. If we know that these scenarios happen, then we can put them out there and say, multiple choice, which one do you think happened? You put multiple choice out there because these are things that we know have happened before. So let's give you the option and tell me what you think based on the facts that you have before your face. Thank you to Ray. I appreciate that. That is a possibility. Absolutely. It is a possibility. So shout out to all the parents that work hard, man. Shout out to all the parents that currently work hard. Shout out to all the, the children out there that respect their parents and respect the struggle and the things that their parents went through. I know my daughter appreciates me, and I'm going to tell you something, guys, before we get up out of here. I know my daughter. I get so emotional, man. I love it in my heart and my chest to hear my daughter tell me she loves me, to hear my daughter tell me that she is a daddy's girl. And she's like damn near looking me in the eye. She's so freaking tall. And I was so happy to spend time with her and to be around people. And they ask her, they like, are you a daddy's girl? And she's like, mm-hmm. She said proudly too. Makes you feel good, man. When you can reap the benefits of being a good parent. If you want to have good adults, you have to raise good children. And I thank God, that between me and her and my daughter's mom, that we were able to raise my child. We still got more work to go. We still got these teenage years to get through. So we still got a lot more work to do, but I'm ready for it. But I'm thankful for where we are. I can look at my progress and look at my work, and I say that we've done a great job, and we still got more to go. We still got a lot more work to do, because that's my contribution to the world. You are now going to have another responsible citizen of the United States of America, another law-abiding citizen of the United States of America, and potentially another business owner in the United States of America that is going to provide a need that consumers need. I have no doubt about that. That is definitely going to be somebody productive, and I am excited about my daughter's life. More than anything, I will give her every tool that I absolutely can to make sure that she is successful. All I want to do is just make sure that our people continue to give our children the best opportunities at being successful. So shout out to my parents out there that'll do anything and everything to make sure and protect their children. We cannot put our children in harm's way. And we absolutely have to do right by our children. We have to love them. We have to respect our children. Most people don't believe that you need to respect your children. Most people believe, no, you're my child, you respect me. Think about it the other way around. They say you give respect to get it. You give respect to get it. You give respect to get it. So if that's the case, then give your children respect, and they will respect you in return. I've been around a lot of children over my lifetime. A lot of them. I give children the utmost respect from the moment that I see them, from the moment that I engage with them and have any level of conversation, if it's just a hi or anything. You give them the respect first, and they show you the love and respect in return. Put a pin in there. We'll come back to it some other time. Thank you guys so much for joining the show. Love you guys. Y'all have a great night. Happy Halloween. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. Kamaya Henrys, thank you very much, man. Prayer hands up. Thank you guys so very much, man. You guys have a great night. I love you guys. I will see you guys on the next show. Be prepared. Tomorrow afternoon, we got new shows coming. I'm going to air them. I'm going to record them tonight, and I'm going to air them. Love you guys. Thank you.